What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another Man City video, where today we're going to be doing the preview of Man City's home game against Everton in the Premier League at the Etihad Stadium. So before I do crack on with this video, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Kitbag. Kitbag have got the new Manchester City 4th shirt available for you guys to go and check out. Links and details, they are in the description. They've got many more Manchester City memorabilia, got many more of the other Manchester City jerseys for the season, and lots of other stuff that you can go and check out. Kitbag's link is in the description, and a big thank you to Kitbag for sponsoring today's preview. So, this game taking place at the Etihad Stadium. It's Premier League match day number 8, international break now done and dusted. This game taking place on Saturday, 18th of October 2025 with a 3 p.m. BST kickoff time. This game is not being broadcast live in the UK, so it does mean we are in the blackout. But anyone heading to the Etihad Stadium for this game, do enjoy yourselves and have a great time. So this is a game that we're going to be looking towards making progress. I've made good emphasis on this in my other previews for the season, in particular when we're looking at games that Man City were dropping points in last season. When we're looking at this season, how are we going to make progress? Because last season, this finished 1-1 at the Etihad between Man City and Everton. We dropped points, and this is a good chance now for Man City to show their case, their progress on last season once more, to showcase that City now are capable of making progress, capable of climbing back up the league, and capable of potentially trying to launch a challenge to win the Premier League come May. And if you want to be winning Premier Leagues when it comes to your home games, you've got to be winning your games. So this is a good chance here to showcase that Man City are back and that they are capable of turning the games that we were dropping points in last season into wins for this season. And we have seen City rectifying some results from last season this season. We've also dropped the same amount of points in games that we dropped points in last season as well. So it does feel very much like transition, but if we can win this game, it puts Man City in a pretty good position heading into our other games between this, obviously this patch through October and into November before we hit yet another international break. So just having a look at our opponents quickly. Everton, formed in 1878, led by manager David Moyes, find themselves 8th in the Premier League. In terms of their form, 3 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses in the Premier League. They won their last game against Crystal Palace, an informed Crystal Palace team, I will add, who were unbeaten in 19 games. Everton managed to win that game by 2-1. Now, they did lose their last away match in the Premier League, which was against Liverpool, by 2-1 at Anfield. Their other loss came against Leeds United away from home in the opening game by 1-0. And as you can see, when Everton are losing games, they're not losing by much. They're keeping things very tight. They're keeping things very close, because David Moyes is a very good manager. He has his teams very well organised, and basically he's a very good manager at being able to stir the pot and keep Everton in close games. That they stand a chance that they can start turning losses into draws and draws into wins. They're very good at being able to do that. So this is a game that if City can get the opening goal, I'm almost certain that City are going to have to build on that. They're going to need a second goal. We won our last game against Brentford by 1-0. Everton possess a lot of quality, so for Man City, for me to sit comfortable and win this game, got to be pushing for that 2-goal cushion, that killer, all-important 2-goal cushion. It never came last season, and we dropped points despite taking the lead against Everton, and it could well be the same case here. So what lessons have we learned? What progress are we making? And straight after the international break as well, can take players a little bit of time to embed themselves into games, so it could be a very sticky game. This, it's not an ideal game, to be honest, that I'd want to be playing straight after an international break, and taking on a very well drilled, very well organised Everton team who know what it does to grind out and get results at difficult places. So we'll see. Now, Everton do face a huge blow for this game. Comes in the form of Jack Grealish. He's reignited Everton this season. 7 matches, 4 assists, 1 goal. That 1 goal, the winning goal in the 93rd minute in their last game against Crystal Palace. He cannot play in this game because he's on loan from Man City at Everton. So because of that, he's ineligible for all Premier League games that we have against Everton for this season, whilst Jack Grealish is on loan there. And that's a huge loss for Everton, because had Jack Grealish been available, this game could have been incredibly tricky for Man City, because Jack Grealish, I'm sure, would have a big point to prove, to showcase to Man City, to the fans, to the staff, to everybody, to showcase that he is of quality that everyone is looking for. And he is showing everybody at Everton right now just how good he can be. It's a big plus for Man City that Jack Grealish isn't available for Everton in this game. Now, Everton do have legs, energy and grit in midfield, something Man City did struggle with a little bit last season. Got a good defence, good solid goalkeeper in Jordan Pickford as well, in my opinion. To me, the only weak spots that we're looking at is how are Everton going to cope without Jack Grealish in their attack, and there's a bit of inexperience there. But that can also be very dangerous, because inexperienced players come in, they've got a point to prove, and if they've got a real point to prove, they're going to show no fear. They're going to take the game to Man City. So let's see what does happen. In terms of injury news, Dewsbury Hall looks like he's back from suspension, so should be available for selection for this game. I'm expecting Branthwaite and Roll to be back for this match. I am unsure on Michael Keane. I'm not too sure if he's going to be available. I suspect maybe not going to meet the fitness in time for this game. So I don't see why Everton would change too much up. So I expect him to go with what they normally go with, which is a 4-2-3-1 formation. Pickford starting in goal, back four made up of O'Brien, Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Mikolenko. A midfield three of Garner, Gay and Dewsbury Hall, with Dibbling on one side and Dye on the other. I reckon Beto will be given the nod up top. Now for Man City, formed in 1894, led by manager Pep Guardiola, we find ourselves 5th in the Premier League. We've won 5 of our last 7 games in all competitions. We're unbeaten in them 7 games in all competitions as well. We won our last home game by 5-1 against Burnley. We won our last game as well, 1-0 away from home against Brentford. And I think it's sensible of me to suggest that the international break came at the wrong time for Man City. We were starting just to find our feet. We were picking up results. We were playing good. So yeah, it is what it is. Some players have had a chance to be well rested, and we're ready to push on now for another 4 weeks before we hit another international break. Now in terms of injury news, Rodri, he's not available. He's expected to be out until the end of October, so the end of this month. Omar Marmoush is back and in training, could be touch and go for this game. Same with Rayan Ait-Nouri as well. If either of these players are fit enough to make the squad, I would not be starting Omar Marmoush and Rayan Ait-Nouri, because we're going to be playing every 3 to 4 days for the next 4 weeks. We need as many players available as possible, and whilst we're under no jurisdiction right now to rotate, I wouldn't take up that option. But after this game, we're then playing every 3 to 4 days. That's when that rotation would hit. So from Villarreal away onwards is when I'd be looking at the likes of Marmoush and Rayan Ait-Nouri and other players coming back from injury to be made available for selection to allow them to start to rotate a little bit more. Now Ryan Cherki has been back for the last few weeks, so he's expected to be back, should make the squad. Not too sure if he'll start this game. We'll see. It's been an interesting call for Pep Guardiola to make. Khusanov hasn't trained before this match, so I don't think he's going to be available in time, so not expecting him to be available along with Rodri. Now, for easy sake here, I'm going to go with a 4-3-3 formation. I know Man City use numerous formations. It's the easiest for me to explain with a 4-3-3 formation. So what we're going to see, or I'm expecting to see, is Gianluigi Donnarumma starting in goal for Man City. I reckon it will be a back four made up of Matheus, Nunes, Ruben, Diaz, Josko, Gvardiol and Nico O'Reilly. I then move into our midfield 3. Could be Nico Gonzalez. I reckon Kovacic is going to be given the nod here. And what's going to happen is, game on game, you're going to see Kovacic and Nico G rotating with each other. Good to have Kovacic back, and is available for selection and has been playing for Croatia during the international break. I also can't see how Phil Foden misses out, considering he wasn't called up by Thomas Tuchel for the England squad during the international break for some unknown reason. So Phil Foden well rested, he will start this game. Question is, what do you do with Tijjani, Reijnders and Bernardo Silva? Well, I'd start both of them. I I'd go with Tijjani, Reijnders on one side, and I'd go through in midfield, and I'd go with Bernardo, Silva playing on the right, and he can invert to help to support the attacks or drop deep, in particular if Foden or Tijjani, Reijnders decides to get forward. And then what you're going to see either inverting or trying to stretch the pitch is where Matheus Nunes comes into it, which is why I've selected him. I go with Jeremy Doku on the left and Erling Haaland starting up top. As I said, wouldn't do too much rotation here, but now that we're going to be playing every 3 to 4 days for the next 4 weeks, it's important that we keep the squad fresh and injury-free. So that means options like Ait-Nouri, Cherki, Savinho, Bobb, Marmoush, Rico, Lewis, John Stones, Nico G, Nathan Ake, all good options for Manchester City. Potentially, Calvin Phillips could be an option. He's fit, and he's also part of Man City's Premier League matchday squad. So he has been registered. Can't play in the Champions League, so Premier League, a good chance if you want to do a bit of rotation that Calvin Phillips could be made available. I'm not expecting to see that, but it could happen. James Trafford as well, another good option. When's he going to get minutes? When's he going to get starts? Is it enough for him just to be getting Carabao Cup games and FA Cup games from January onwards? When's he going to start getting Premier League games? I wouldn't rule out a little curveball from Pep Guardiola and maybe seeing James Trafford start this game. I think Donnarumma would start, but I reckon at some point, and some point soon, you are going to see a curveball, and I reckon we'll see James Trafford randomly start a game. Is this that random game? We'll see. Now, in terms of score predictions, I think Jack Grealish is a big loss for Everton, so offensively I think they might struggle. I could suggest here a close game, a 1-0 or a 2-1 Man City, because I do think Man City are going to win. That might be me being biased, being a City fan, but I think without Jack Grealish, I think they're going to struggle a little bit, Everton, to create opportunities. So I'm going 2-0 Man City. I think Everton are going to defend deep, defend well, restrict the space, and it's not going to be easy. It's never easy taking on a David Moyes side. But I think 1 goal in the first half, 1 goal in the second half, and Man City win this game by 2-0. Both goals coming from Erling Haaland in form. Now, in terms of my betting tips, speaking of Erling Haaland, he's on fire this season, so I'm backing him to score again anytime. I do actually fancy Haaland's brace, so that's my betting tip. I fancy Haaland to score 2, a scrappy game, so 50+ booking points, and I reckon if Kovacic does start this game, Kovacic, it's like a walking yellow card, so I'd go with Kovacic yellow card anytime as well. Marking his return, starting his first game of the season for Man City, getting a yellow card. I feel like that would be very fitting. Now, next up for Man City, we take on Villarreal away on Tuesday night in Spain in the Champions League before we take on Aston Villa away from home next Sunday. Games coming thick and fast and, very difficult games. Villarreal away, difficult. Villa away. We lost there last season. Again, another chance to see if there's any progress being made. Also, very difficult. 2 very tricky games coming up. And this is a tricky game. So 3 consecutive tricky games coming up. We did drop points in this game last season, so a chance here to see progress. We dropped points against Villa, chance to see if there's progress. Champions League away match in Spain against Villarreal, sandwiched in between. Yeah. Things are going to get very difficult for City, but if we can persevere for the next week or so, pick up 3 wins, and all of a sudden, season's looking pretty good. So we'll see. A big week coming up for Man City. For Everton, after this game, they're going to take on Tottenham Hotspur at home next Sunday. So they've got 2 pretty tricky games as well, against City away from home and Spurs at home. Now, last note, I will be back with another live watch-along. I'll be live on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. BST. I will have the link out to that later on today for you to go and set your reminders for. So do stay tuned to that. So another live watch-along for you guys to enjoy. So do feel free to come and join me for that, and we can have a good laugh with each other, a good bit of interaction, speak about whatever. Yeah, so do come and join me for that. That would be much appreciated. Links and details, they will be out on my channel later on today for you to go and set your reminders for the live watch along. So that has been today's video. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. Lets me know that you are enjoying the videos. Do get your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new around here and you haven't done so already. It is free to subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest City content, so do subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description as well if you want to go and follow me on my X X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, do go and check out Kitbag, who've got the new 4th kit available for Man City. I think it's going to be making its debut in Man City's game against Villarreal on Tuesday evening. So do go and check that out. Links and details there in the description. And a big thank you to Kitbag for sponsoring today's preview. And I'll see you all again tomorrow for the live watch along of Man City v Everton. Big game, could be a very close game. No Jack Grealish available for Everton. Could be a big blow. Man City, picked up a win in our last game, unbeaten in 7 games, 5 wins in 7. Let's see if we can make it 6 wins in 8 and get some pressure applied to those above us. So, they've been my thoughts. I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.